Hello everyone, Brian Trepanier here. This will be the first in a short series, which will ultimately end with a custom animated, basically a placeholder mesh of a character for a non-player character into Dune 3. It's created in 3D Max 7, and in this one we'll be getting something up to the stage of a render bump created out of 3D Max 7. Grid and snap settings. Wanted to reflect on the numbers that are used inside of the Dune 3 world and every other video game. So I'm just going to also grab here and stretch this over, move that over like that, move that down a bit, and it's in here. Can I zoom in? And just going to take a line and make a character using line tool. Obviously not the most efficient way to make a character, but when it's a hobby you don't care about efficiency. It's the fun aspect. I'm just going to keep going around. Didn't really need that many for the head. As you can see, it's going to be kind of questionable physical capabilities. Put it in there. Yes, we'll close the spline. That'll be our basic character shape. Come on into modify. We can right click on it. No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to extrude, which will pop down the other way. Extrude, and we can extrude it there. That's enough. We'll also smoothen highlights, turn on edged faces, back to wireframe. Okay, so we don't have any cross pieces or anything, so we're going to make some. And to do that, we'll just be working with this as collapse 2. It'll be an editable mesh, sure. We'll work with an editable poly for this part. And come up to there, and we will grab the cut tool, and before we use that and before we do this, we will come here and we will maximize the screen. We can turn off the grid as well, letter G, and we'll start cutting some parts. And you can see where it touches an edge, but where it touches an edge where there already exists a vertex on. So there'll be a line over on that side. It becomes a different type of marker than if it was sitting there. So you know you're on one, and if there's one up on that side, there is, and then you can just connect those together nice and easily without actually having to see them. Move that down. Okay, back to the cut tool. What happened there is I didn't right click after to shut the cut off, and it just kept trying to cut more and more. There's not going to be too much going on here, and again, this isn't necessarily the best way to create a model. Actually, it is definitely not the best way to create a model. Give me back my character. And that's the way we're going to do it right now. Yeah, that looks good. There may be a faster way to do this, but I don't suspect it's something that you would be doing a whole lot of. I just, for some reason, letter P, I have found enjoyment in this, much like Ozzy enjoys coloring in a coloring book. So we'll put that one there too, in which case we'll also connect that to there. And come around the back and do the same kind of thing. So other than that, it's just the legs here, and everything should be ready to rock. Okay. So remember, like I said, you already have a character. You don't want to see this taking place. It's enough to strike fear in this dirtiest of hearts. When I see some of the people out there and the work they're able to create with these little dots and lines. Okay, so we'll call this the front of the head. And we'll put that up there, sure. Stomach's growling big time. I may be incredibly distracted soon. Okay, well, there's the character. And we can turn that off, and we'll come on up and we will throw a mesh smooth on it. I guess we don't have to use the mesh smooth because we're in polys. We can come on up and use the NURM subdivision, iteration of 1, sure. That's what he's going to look like in game. Because that's what we'll keep him as. But until we do that, we will save this one out as NPC dude, sure. Yes, I replace it. And we're going to convert to an editable mesh, and yeah, we'll do that. And that way we're not going to use the, we'll use a mesh smooth. Add an edit mesh to the pile, click on the front here, and let's go to a left view. Whoops, Control Z, whoops, scroll it down, and select that, go back to front, and scroll it down, W to move, and we're not going to do anything with that. We're going to detach it first, and attach it to an element. Okay, now we'll move that out of the way. We will select the back part now, and spin it around more accurately than that by clicking on the snap up there and turning it 180. Slide this over here like that, just fine for me. And well, that's actually the face that's over on this side. Okay, good thing to know. There's no stuff going on the back of the head here. You know, it says the front was facing the back. Now that that's like that, click off on it, and let's call this NPC dude. Give it some ID stuff right now, and we'll add a UV map to it. And UV map, obviously, isn't going to cooperate by putting itself up there. We're going to make it a similar size, so that's it. So we'll make that 220, and we'll make that 220, just so the you don't have to do it for this particular one, but for other purposes, it's just a good idea. I guess no, yeah, it's a good idea. Make it a uniform size for the scaling. Unwrap UVW if you wanted to go ahead afterwards and edit up the textures once they're in place. We're not going to be doing that. but you could also go to Textporter, which is right down here, and set your things here, pick the object, and export a image that you can bring into Photoshop to draw over. But again, we're not doing that. We'll just come back over to here, and we'll turn off the edit mesh and collapse all, and now it's baked in. The text, the UVW layout is baked in. We'll do a incremental save and incremental save, and that's it. It's back in its spot. We can now, with that created, hold down the shift button, click on that, and we'll call a copy hi dude. Okay, now it's got another one underneath, and hi dude is selected. We're going to come on over into the this area here, and under more we're going to UV remove. Okay, we'll set it to grade 2. So now the hi dude that we're now going to do other stuff with no longer has any UVW coordinates in it. It's just going to be a blank mesh, and hi dude is still selected. We're going to convert it to an editable poly for this next stage, and come on up to the NURMS subdivision, and we'll NURM it to 4. Let it do its thing, and convert that back to an editable mesh, and we'll select the first one and hide it. Hide selection, and this big one here, we don't need the I guess don't have a choice. Oh yeah, up here we could. We can now, I guess I still need it as an editable poly. So we'll go back to there, because what I want to do is, first off, go to letter P. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, I get it now. I was working in perspective, and so I had the back of it facing the other way. Okay, so don't need the edge faces. But I want to work with the paint deformation push-pull. We'll set that to 3, brush size to 4, and brush strengths to 0.25. And now you got this little brush here, and you can draw deformations into the high poly mesh. And it's actually pulling out the mesh and creating deformation. We'll boost this up to 0.5, and we'll try some other markings, and you can see it gets stronger. We'll go around to the back, and holding the Alt button, we'll make a butt crack to it, and some dents in the head. Well, these are actually extrusions, and now we'll hold the Alt button, and we'll put some dents down here. I don't know why, just consider it a wound of some sort. And there is the high poly. Okay, so we'll now convert that to an editable mesh, and go back to front view. And now what we're going to do is unhide all, and this low poly one here, we select it by going there, select, or just letter H would also bring up that box, and render to texture. Render to texture, and it'll have the NPC dude info already put in there. Come down here, enabled, turn off that, pick, we're going to pick hi dude, add, and that's putting it as the projection. And options don't show, I keep forgetting that because the screen size is so small, it's hidden over here or something, I don't know what's going on, so you have to look at that one yourself. Add, but you want to, I'm making it as a tangent UVW map, just so you know. Tangent NormalsMap, I should say. We clicked on add, NormalsMap, add element, and coming on up to here, and this here is where it's going to save it to. I want to save it into C. My laundry is done, so I'm going to finish this up quick. TGA, save, and that's all fine. Okay. Save it as a 512. Output source. Yeah, that's it. Output source, and I'll avoid this one here. Okay, and that's it. Let's render. We'll see the errors. Lots of errors, as you can see. And what that is the cage that has been built around it does not come out, stretch out far enough. It's actually still tucked in behind. So we're going to come into projection. This is a modifier that got added when I did the render to texture, and cage will come down here to cage. We'll shade it so you can see where the mesh is actually peeking through. So what we want to do is push that out until that cage completely covers everything. So what that cage is basically where the light reflects down from. Come back to here, you bugger, there P. And if light can't bounce down from that onto the mesh, well, it gives you that red coloring or whatever coloring you set it to do. So now with that like that, we can come back up to there, and I guess the NPC dude, yeah, render to texture. I guess I shut it off, so let's see if everything's still in place. Existing channels, yes, yes, okay, yes, output, yes, and let's render it. Overwrite, sure, and now there'll be, oh, there's still some little red spots. So we want to touch that up even some more. And back to the cage, and let's just make it huge. I keep shutting it down. Number 0 opens it up without having to do that. Render it. Overwrite it. Still got some stuff going on along the edges. But we're going to call that done like that, just because that's how you fix it up. You already know that. So now I'm going to, here you can see normals. We can view it, and there's your normals map. You can drop it onto your low poly mesh. At this stage, I'm going to just do a save as incremental, and you can get rid of this. Don't need that part anymore. That's the high dude. We can delete high dude, and low dude, we can delete that. Editable mesh, letter M. Just come on up, come on into the oh bugger, maps, and bump map. We're going to add a normal bump and pick it from here. Bitmap, and it's inside the C. Textures NPC. There it is. Open. We will apply it, show it inside the viewport, and it doesn't have any, so we'll put a mesh smooth on it, and let's do a quick render. So the button wasn't showing, and I pressed F10, and that shut off my my video capture. So we'll come up here to render, and drag this down. Let's just render it. There you go. And you can see it's got the bump material on it. There it is. Render bump in 3D Max. Let's do a render of the butt. It's all deformed in the red there. That's where the errors are that you saw on the other one. So you want to fix that up. I gotta get my laundry. Later.